All right. Hi. Welcome back to another video of the Target Individual Program, the Target Individual Experience. So this is going to be part two. So when I set my phone screen so that it goes off after 10 minutes, and I need to just turn that off because if I'm not moving the screen, if I'm not, it will eventually the screen will be turned off, right? But anyhow, so as I was saying, so my daughter specifically, when when her mother goes to sleep, right? Because again, uh, for a few years she left these kids at night, so the kids are up all night, right? And no supervision. Even when she had a babysitter to watch them during the day during COVID, right? The babysitter didn't make sure that they did their homework, that they studied. And when I confronted her on it, I said, "How is it that you have a babysitter here during the day who is a young college student, right, and don't help their kids with their homework? Don't help them study for their tests?" And she goes, "Well, that's not what I'm not paying her to do. That's not I'm just paying her to watch the kids." And it's like shit like that. I always remember because of her ignorance, right? So now that these kids are at a certain age, and I said, you of all persons should know that. And here's the thing: my daughter was doing well. I was helping her study, times tables, all these things, and she was getting it until her mother decided, you know what, she want to start dating her ex, and the relationship, right? Then that didn't work out. Then she met somebody else, and then and such, right? And I keep telling her, I said, listen, you are trying to live your life as if you're single and you don't have any children. From time to time she'll come to me. She's like, you know what? She's like, maybe you should just stay and watch the kids while I go travel. I'm like, we're not in a relationship. What the hell is wrong with you? But this is how they condition her to do. Whenever they target me like this, and they try to scare me or use the police to engage in coercive threats, then she starts showing her ass, right? But no more. It never worked, and it never will. All right. I'm just I'm a little bit more tired of it than what I used to be. Okay. So like I said, now she calls me and she's like, "Oh, you need to clean up." I'm like, no. I tidy up when I come here during the day. I gotta put away the laundry, and here I'm using the sirens. So like when I come here sometimes, and I go in the morning time, because always dishes in the sink, and I go to wash the dishes, they use the sirens. Right? If I go to do laundry, they use the sirens. If she does laundry, she'll leave the clothes there for an entire week. Right? And then I have to come and put the laundry away. And when I do it, they're using their sirens. Right? Again, it's to manipulate me. And I understand what it is that they're doing now. Before I was unconscious, now I'm conscious and awaken, and I know. So it doesn't work anymore. So how many other people they're doing this to? Matter of fact, the vast majority of black people they're doing this to. Right? Maybe not in a more concentrated form like they're doing us as TIs, but definitely they're doing it too. Right? So then to use, and this is what they do, because they're retaliatory, right? They're criminals. They want to use blackmail. They want to use threats and intimidation. So now they're using Child Protective Service as a weapon to try to get me to become silent and to comply with her demands. This is what they do. And again, I'm going to talk about the Coercive Persuasion Program before this video ends. Right? So let's look at certain things. And again, when black Sambos and Sambinas, Negropeans participate in this, I want them to understand that this is being done to them also. Right? So, disproportionate representation. Black children are more likely to be investigated by CPS and removed from their families compared to white children. Right? This disparities is not limited to specific regions. It's a nationwide issue impacting black families across the country. Studies show that a significant percentage of black children will be investigated by CPS before the age of 18. right? Contributing factors, again, poverty related issues such as inadequate housing, lack of food, and unstable living conditions are often cited as reason for CPS involvement. However, these conditions disproportionately affect black families, leading to higher rates of neglect related removal. Systemic bias. The child welfare system, while intended to protect children, do perpetuate racial bias through various mechanism. Mandated reporting laws. Laws requiring professionals, teachers, doctors to report suspected child maltreatment can disproportionately affect black communities. Investigative practices. Investigations can be intrusive and may not adequately consider the family's strength or context, leading to unwanted removal. Decision making. Implicit bias in decision making process can influence whether a case is substantial or if a child is removed. Now, again, let's look at the psychiatric industry. Therapists, stuff like that. The vast majority of therapists in the United States are white. Only 4% are black. Right? You have something like Asians, right? And those who will report child abuse when it comes to black children are white and Asian therapists. Okay? But they don't report any sort of signs of abuse when it comes to, well, I shouldn't say for all, but they're rarely, very well when it comes to white families or other ethnic group families. So again, I said, black people, wake up, open up your damn eyes, become aware, understand what the system is, what it is doing, how it's doing it. It's never going to change. It is never going to change. And they keep us out of certain positions because this is how they try to control us. If you don't do what we say, you're going to lose your job. We're going to do all sorts of shit to get you to comply. This is what they do. And I'm so glad that they're doing this today. Because like I said, I'm going to expose them in ways that they have yet to be exposed. And like I tell them, my purpose is greater than theirs. It is greater than theirs. Because what? I'm on the side of goodness. They operate within a system that is corrupt, that is evil, that is created to suppress and destroy black people. All right? And I'm going to expose them for who they are and for what the system truly is. All right? All right. So let's talk about coercive persuasion programming. Okay, and just do a quick Google search and you'll see. There's a website I usually go to called psychologicalharassment.com. You guys can go on there and check it out. All right, coercive persuasion programming refers to a range of techniques used to induce compliance and change attitudes or behavior through manipulative and psychological pressure, often within controlled environment. Is distinct from persuasion, which relies on reasoned arguments and voluntary agreement by employing methods that restrict autonomy and manipulate individuals. These techniques are used in various contexts, including cults, political indoctrination, and even some educational or therapeutic setting, though the ethical implications are significant. Key characteristic of coercive persuasion: control of information. And again, I want black people to understand that this is what they're doing to us as a group of people. Limiting access to information and control communication channels to reinforce specific viewpoints. Isolation and dependence. Separating an individual from their support network. This is the destruction of the black family, the destruction of black relationships, right? And fostering dependence on the group or individual employing the techniques. Emotional manipulation. Creating specific emotional states, fear, guilt, dependencies to influence behavior. Reward and punishment. I talked about this, right? What is it called? Operant conditioning. Operant conditioning is a psychological tactic and method and programming method in which reward and punishment are used. And when it comes to black people, right, negative behavior is rewarded, right, and good behavior is punished. Okay. Groupthink and peer pressure, encouraging conformity and suppressing dissenting opinions within the group. Right? undermining the self, destabilizing an individual's sense of self and identity to make them more susceptible to influence. All right. Now you guys go look up Zoom, right? And this is Zoom. The biggest part, the biggest and the most detrimental part of Zoom was the destabilization of an individual self. Right? Look that up. Okay. So, just wanted to make this video because, again, also as soon as Pam called me and I responded, I said no, what have you. The New York Predator Department began an aggressive form of what? Remote monitoring and in-home surveillance. Right? Because they believe, right? They believe that because I didn't accept the friend request, because like I said, I've been getting a lot of friend requests lately, right? And so this is the fact that I didn't accept that friend request, and then the other friend request with the name Steve, because when I had the discussion with my nephew Steve, they sent me a friend request with this individual whose name was Steve also, right? So I'm like I said, I wait on certain things because I observe. This is how I study what it is that they do. This is when I talk about these things, I'm showing you guys exactly how they do it. Right? So you can be aware of what's going on because they're doing this to all of us, but we cannot see it, right? Because our conscious, we're not conscious. We're not awakened. Right? So hopefully doing these videos will give you a better understanding of the crimes that is being committed within the society by those in position of authority. Right? And because they can say, oh, well, they can use the psychiatric labeling as a weapon, which still goes on today. The psychiatry in the United States is used as a weapon. It is not to help you, right? It is to profit off of you. Pharmaceutical companies create drugs for specific treatment or illnesses that they create, right? And again, this system is based on the exploitation of black people. It has always been that. Yes, you have all these other companies creating technology and stuff like that. But when it comes down to it, they need consumers, right? And who are the biggest consumers? But black women. Okay? So with that being said, talk to you guys in the next video.